Well, look at disease. I mean, look at the major diseases today are man-made.
Correct. And so net result, are we better off without smallpox? And instead we have AIDS? Huh?
Yeah, but created by mankind.
Yeah.
For a specific reason, and that is to reduce population.
Yeah.
And the same...
I'm of the opinion that personally, I've always thought that population pressure would force us out in space in a legitimate way. I don't know if we have the time for that now.
Yeah, it's that critical, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah. There's no question about that.
Boy, oh boy.
That's why, again, I don't want to pander to fear, but everybody should just be prepared for things, right? It's altered my viewpoint. I'm much more of a speciesist. My individual survival is neither here nor there.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Cliff, let's go back and touch on this, and I forget how you refer to them, but I'll call them the evil ones, and maybe they're not evil. Maybe they're just there.
Our powers that be guys, the invisible hands?
Well, no, the woman who is the...
Exactly. I don't know what that reference is. That's the scary bit.
We said before, they could be specific individuals,
or I could be wildly misinterpreting it. Correct.
I don't think so.
I'm hoping not. I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah. But if indeed there is this individual with the dreadlocks, who you foresaw in London, and all of a sudden, look what's just happened over there, and now your information is saying that this individual, whether it is the personification in human form of somebody, or it's a consciousness, I guess it could be either one, is now in the southeastern part of the United States.
Correct.
Do you...
We don't know that they're connected. Just because we happen to get London and then 2 months later this pops up, not necessarily connected in any way, shape, or form. You
mean not connected in what they might be doing, like, because we don't have any subways down in the southeastern part of the country?
No. I'm saying that my interpretation in showing this guy up in London is entirely coincidental. It was 2 months before the events that we had this past few weeks.
Yeah.
And may not be related in any way, shape, or form.
May not, but it may also be.
Correct. But therefore, anything beyond that is speculation. And at this point, we don't have enough to speculate as to what's going on.
Okay. If there were an individual, an actual physical individual, would that also mean that the second party, who would be the female aspect, who is crippled, and I think you said blind also?
Right.
Could that also be a real person?
Sure. But it could also just be a personification of the data that's showing up. That's the nebulousness of the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. Your gut feeling, Cliff, as the creator and runner.
I think they're people.
Real people?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I don't see them as evil. I don't see them as being involved in bombings or any of that. I see them more as omens or representation of factional infighting or something.
But still real individuals.
Correct.
Could you clarify that a little for me, because there seems to be a dichotomy there?
I wish I could. I'm not really in a position to. I also find myself going to have to report here that I'm getting very weak and may have to rush off and throw up. I've been sitting up in a hot room here for the last couple of hours.
Oh, geez. Well, don't do that, my gosh. But
so I'm not at my best. I'm feeling a little bad at the moment. Could you play music for a minute?
Are you going to come back?
Oh, certainly. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Let's play some music. You got that right.
Okay. Be right back with you. It's inordinately hot up here, and I just wasn't quite prepared for that.
Okay. Go ahead and I'll just chat, and we'll play some music. Thanks.
Okay. Back in 2 minutes, then. I'll leave the line open.
Thank you. Friends, I got to tell you, this is not only is everything that Cliff shared with us tonight. This is incredible information. I hope that a lot of you now understand what he has been doing, because this is the first time in all the time I've known Cliff and all the shows. Well, we haven't done a lot of shows, but in all the information I have read in his WebBot runs, which have been quite a few, this is truly the first time that I not absolutely understand it, because it's so far beyond me and my ability, but I do understand now the concept behind what Cliff is talking about. And I got to tell you, I am more astounded by what he has put together because, and I said it, and I think Cliff agreed, he has found a way to tap into the collective consciousness by dealing with the subconsciousness of individuals. He has figured out a way to tap into the collective consciousness of humanity. And let me tell you, friends, that's pretty awesome. And not just theoretically, but look at the stories. Look at the facts that Cliff has talked about, and his ability, when he puts it down on paper, I don't care whether it's a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, or longer, in advance, giving us information as to what he has determined the information coming through the WebBot runs is showing. I can tell you, that's a wow. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, so sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Did you really get sick?
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian, and it's extremely hot up here, and my wife was cooking, and it usually doesn't affect me this way. She's not.
Well, my gosh, man, I apologize that I kept you on so long, but that's tough because I gotta keep you on.
No, I understand that. I feel much better now, of course.
Yeah.
And it's just the heat, really. It's we live in the Northwest here, but in a huge pile of trees around us, and even so, it's been 95 in the shade on our back deck.
Isn't that weird? I mean,
extremely so.
That is really weird. All over here too. I mean, we went through 3 weeks, and every day the temperature was up in the 90s, except today. Today was quite cool.
Well, good, excellent.
Yeah, and I don't know what it foretells us, but obviously, just like all the things we've been talking about, something is happening around us.
Oh, there's no question about it. The vibrational levels of the energies hitting the planet have to be distributed in one way or another. As within any machine, we're getting a lot of external heat or energy coming in, and it's given off as heat.
That's right, sure. Do you have any idea what is causing the sun to do the events that it's doing? Because these are bizarre events.
I have some ideas, but then we're getting beyond the WebBot stuff and out into analysis and some projections and some hints that are given in science, but and to a certain extent mysticism.
That's okay.
If we followed a logic train and opened up our minds and said, okay, we recognize that things are occurring, it's possible, for instance, that we could postulate a material world in which a large planetary body like a Planet X kind of thing, or mini comets all clustered together, or a huge mass of dust of the equivalent volume just spread out over more space, is causing our sun to go energetic. It's also true we're seeing a lot of dust around the sun, huge dust clouds.
Yes.
Giant dust storms coming in, and up until 1975 we didn't even know that dust could be accreted to the sun. They actually saw it for the first time around that period. So it could be something along those lines. It also could be, if we examine the relationship of the Mayan calendar, the Venusian orbit of 260 years, the precession, and the fact that the precession is not fixed. Everybody thinks the precessional wobble runs 25,800 years, more or less. Yeah. But it's been as small as 19,000 years and as long as 33,000. So it varies somewhat. And we also have this other 100,000-year orbit, but all of them seem to be coinciding. All these weird cycles are coinciding, along with the alignment of the solar system with the galactic equator, if you will.
That's it. That's what I was trying to drive at before with the 2012 date, because that's when everything aligns, and a lot of people feel that that's when time starts over.
That would presume, let's examine our assumption again, those are people that assume that time is in some way separate from any of the other elements in phenomenal world, that it has a lifespan of its own, and the material world would stay here and somehow time would start over.
But it's getting into a concept like the Kali Yuga.
Now, Okay, but if we examine the Kali Yuga, their description of time starting over, and perhaps even the Mayan one, we don't know because they never continued it,
That's right.
would be the a giant meta cycle starting over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, not time starting over in the sense that everybody gets zapped back to zero and Garden of Eden kind of thing.
I didn't mean that. I meant the realistic or the Vedic concept of time and starting over.
Yeah.
Like we're passing a point now, or will be, in space. Everything lines up, and like you said, it's like the equator, at least of our galaxy. I don't know about the universe.
And that would be impossible. That would be a massive speculation, but it does not matter about it beyond our galaxy.
That's right.
There's, if we go back to Vedic literature, we can go back, and I happen to be an aficionado and adept in a lot of this, and have read Patanjali and have studied the science of yoga, and have some knowledge of it. And if we go back into the details of it, look at the historical descriptions of things they've had to endure, and some of the language that has come out of the Great Flood that they survived and the things they wrote down, we discovered that 22 trillion times a second a pulse comes out from the middle of the universe. And it travels instantaneously because it is at a particle level or an energy level that is before it reaches the material phenomenal world, what Tom Bearden and other scientists would call scalar energy.
Yeah. This
scalar energy we could also call plasma. Travels instantaneously from the middle of the universe to the middle of all the galaxies.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
As soon as it instantaneously reaches the middle of all the galaxies, it travels from the middle of all the galaxies to the center of all the solar systems within all those galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
And those are usually the suns. There it manifests at their inner core as the creation of what Buddha called Kalapas, or the indivisible unit. And it literally is Einstein saying mass equals energy, with a little bit of fiddling around. Mm-hmm. And you can go one way or you can go the other. And the universe chooses, at that point, with that particular pulse, 22 trillion times a second, to create matter with it. One could postulate that level of alignment that we're opening ourselves up for by our solar system sliding into alignment with the Milky Way's center, we're going to get more of that energy. It's possible if we look at things, because our little solar system is unique in the universe in a number of ways. I don't mean by life or anything like that. I mean astronomically. Mm-hmm. It floats around on the outer edge of the Milky Way galaxy, such that periodically, through its precessional wobble, any energy coming through would be blocked by the spiral arms. And we're about to exit, in fact, are now exiting the spiral arms there, and going into the clear path, if you will, between the spiral arms of the Milky Way galaxy, where presumably there wouldn't be any matter to block the flow of that energy or to absorb it.
Yep.
So therefore, that I find to be the most credible causative factor for what we're experiencing now. And that does not even preclude the existence of dust or Planet X or any of that.
Oh, no.
All of that could happen, and it still would be immaterial to what we're facing in 2012.
That's it. And
now, I also say that there should be no fear involved.
Right.
There's nothing in the universe that is unreal. There's nothing in the universe that should not happen. As horrific as that sounds to all the people that are victims of things, nonetheless, the universe, for whatever reason, is having things occur.
That's right. That's right. And everything is as it's planned to be. We are on the right timetable, and everything is going to happen exactly how it's supposed to happen.
Correct, as it needs to.
Yes, yeah. So
now, some of us may wake up a bit along the way and say, "Aha! I can watch this go."
Yeah, that's right.
Most of us, though, most of the poor people, and I don't find myself in that state anymore, and that's its own curse. But most of the people don't go out to meet their destiny, and so are run over by fate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Cliff, we got to do this again.
At your convenience.
Wonderful, because it's going to be just down the road a little bit.